has not. Okay, so I think this video has been cut off and restarting. I'm just gonna say, hey, welcome back. It is me, Unapologetically T, and I am talking religion. And I left off at Charlotte identifies more with the Islam, I think, teachings. She does not wear a hijab. However, she does identify with a lot of the Islamic teachings and stuff like that. But she does identify with the Christianity. And then she also has the space to explore now. So I allow her now to explore different religions. And whatever one she comes back to when she's older is up to her. I am not picking her religion for her. I am going to allow her to make that decision for herself. However, right now, as of now, she does have a strong faith with God, and that's all that matters to me. I was about to say, I was wondering. Nah, she coming through the door. I'm gonna pause real quick. All right, so I'm back. Charlotte was coming through the door, but I thought I was gonna have to beat up a ghost or something because, like, it sounded like the floors was creaking. It didn't even sound like somebody was at the door, but I was like, So, that's another thing. Like, I always believed in spirits. I always believed in that weird stuff that we call supernatural stuff. Like, I've always believed it. And I feel like if you believe in religion, you truly do believe in it too, because a lot of things that happens in religious texts is definitely supernatural, superhuman. So I've always believed in those things. I've always felt like I was connected to spirit. I always felt like I could see things that most others could not always see. And when I say see, I mean see without my eyes. I could vision things. But I was never allowed to trust myself. However, I always felt like my mom had those abilities as well. Listening to her conversations and stuff like that. But it was just like when I would validate, I would say something that was never like really validated. It was like, okay. Yeah. But for me, I am me now, and I validate me, and whatever, you believe is what you believe. But for me, I definitely feel like I'm connected to and tapped into something that's more than what we were taught, to believe in. I definitely could feel your spirit by meeting you. I do not need to know a whole bunch about you to know what's going on with you. And I will say this, there are some people who are able to cloak said feelings. So sometimes I will feel nothing at all. And when I feel nothing at all, I know that you are one of those people who have the ability to shut off whatever you're feeling. But some of you, like, you're wearing your feelings on your sleeves. I was a person, and I still do probably wear my feelings on my sleeves, and I don't feel like, I am going to walk around and not, unless I feel like I have to shut that off, because there are some energy vampires out here that's trying to steal your energy. So yeah, I use it with discernment. But I definitely have tapped into some stuff where I feel like I trust my own instincts, my own intuition. A lot of people call it your third eye, but I just explain it as it's God, spirit. Sometimes I feel like it's my ancestors. Like, these things are interchangeable to me. Sometimes I feel like it's an angel. Sometimes you gotta be careful. It could be, not such a good spirit. I do believe in angels and demons. I think, like, in Islam, it's called the jinns. But I do believe in, these things. There would be a point, and I think this was after being abused by Dante, where I would start to, I'm going to go into this, but I do want to get back on the timeline. But I would start to look at good and bad as relative, and I still do. I do believe that Lucifer Morningstar, God's son, the angels that was first created, like I do believe that, he is a real thing. And we have the term devil. I look at it as Lucifer Morningstar, the angel that had fell to earth, if earth is hell. Or is he supposed to be in hell and he comes and visit earth periodically? But I definitely think there's an off balance going on right now, because earth does feel like hell, and I don't feel like it's supposed to be. I feel like it's just in between, and heaven is here and earth is there. But I feel like hell is on earth. Like there's some balance that need to be restored, because the suffering that we doing on earth make you feel like you in hell. So another perception that I have since I went through what I went through with Dante is I feel like I do not fear the devil, which is Lucifer Morningstar. And if you also want to get deeper into it, like you have some theories that like Lucifer Morningstar actually is the son of God. So like it's just so many different things you can study or get into in different religions before Christ. Even there's religions before, Judaism. So like if you really want to get to studying, like study history and look at creation stories before these creation stories were given to us. That's another issue I have with Abrahamic religion, is that, we definitely, this was forced on us. So this was not the religion that our deep ancestors, practiced. We definitely practiced spirituality before we, were given different religions in different parts of this world. So that's another problem that I have with religion, is the indoctrination. Definitely with Christianity. Like Christianity, they literally had slave Bibles that they gave us. That definitely further indoctrinated us. But however, our ancestors were clever, and they mixed hoodoo, which is the African American form of voodoo, they mixed that with Christianity, and you will see some similar. If you ever were to study hoodoo, you would see a lot of similarities in our worship with Christianity, with hoodoo. But we're taught to be afraid of the natural things our ancestors practiced before religion was handed to them. That's your choice, what you want to believe to be afraid of. I feel like stay in your lane. If you're not into something, stay in your lane. For me, like I said, I'm a free spirit. I will take the repercussions and, the consequences of learning things that was taught to me not to learn. I'll take that. I can say this, that me learning things that I was taught to be afraid of and taught to stay away of has not hurt me half as much as living this human experience in a box. I felt like the more I lived in a box, it hurt me more than me actually exploring and learning things that were taught that it was bad. I feel like it was almost taught that it was bad because it was actually freeing. And that's just my perception and my perspective. Do you stay in your lane? That's why they got 3 lanes on the highway, sometimes 4. Stay in your lane. And I'm gonna stay in mine, but I'm just sharing with you me. So I have told people when I went through the awakening experience with losing Dante that like I don't fear the devil, and I don't fear the devil because I didn't tangled with the devil. I didn't wrestle with the devil. I didn't fell in love with the devil. Like I have done all these things with the devil, and one thing I learned for sure and for certain, that the devil don't force you to do shit. The devil will tempt you. The devil will entice you. The devil will give you a seemingly easier way out. So the devil will mislead you, but the devil don't force you to do anything. So at the end of the day, you are the one making your choices. You are the one making your decisions. And, sometimes we out here blaming the devil for the shit that we are doing. We have to take accountability for our actions. He might present it, and you might be like, this looking good over here. You might even be like, I know this shit gonna end bad, and you still go with it. So I would say, be aware and mindful of that. That is one thing I learned during me going through this awakening experience. Like, I don't fear the devil anymore. Like, the devil, he basically gives you a proposition. And one thing I will say, throughout life, I've always been a devil's advocate. I will always be a devil's advocate. And when I say devil's advocate, I do not mean that I am on the side of the devil. What I mean is that when there is a popular belief or a popular construct being presented to me, I always try to look at the other side of the unpopular choice or decision. I always try to look at that. Maybe they need to change the word from devil's advocate to simply, I want to know what all sides of this look like. I do not want to just take the side that you're giving me. I don't. I really don't. And I feel like in order for things to change in this life, we're going to have to play devil's advocate. Because if we don't, then we would still be stuck in white supremacy and thinking that it's okay. So I'm going to always do that. And I do feel like there is some demons out here. I do feel like, demons don't give you much of a choice. I feel like demons are like definitely a possession, and I feel like you got to kick demons' asses. But that's just my take on what I've been through in life. I even joke and be like, I'm a demon slayer, but I lay my cape down. I lay my sword down. Like, I've been fighting my demons. I've been fighting everybody else's demons. And, I'm retired. Like, and I feel like I have a level of respect on all realms. I think, like, I am good. Like, I am with God. I am doing what God wants me to do. And I've walked these different paths to know what I need to know and be who I need to be and be happy and free with that. That's just my take on my life experiences. However, I have skipped over a big chunk. Like I said, I always still had this belief of God. Even when I was 16 and I had the abortion, I definitely felt like I was condemned for murder. So I definitely still had this connection of right and wrong. And I think that's where what I care about the most. I care about the most of you having a set of beliefs, a set of morals and values, and you trying to stick to those. I think that a lot of people be like, when you get up to a certain place in life, you sell your soul. Selling your soul is simply like going against what you believe in and your morals and values. When you go against what you truly believe in and your morals and values in life, it chips away at your soul. So until you reconcile with that, until you forgive yourself and others, you're technically giving a piece of your soul away. So, and it's definitely not going to be connected to you the way it's supposed to be, even if it's still there. For me, thank God, so far, I did not, fall victim to that too much, so that is nothing that I can't come back to mentally for me. But I do say that, be careful out here, excuse me. Be careful out here when you are making decisions and choices. Please weigh your options about what you know to be right and wrong, because it's about what you know to be right and wrong, not what nobody else know to be right and wrong. It's about what you know to be right and wrong. And for me, even though I always was on the fence about pro-choice or pro-life, I definitely say I am swaying towards. I was always like, it's this middle thing, like, right and wrong wise, I believe that pro-life is correct. And then it was like, but bringing a child in this world that you do not want to be in this world is definitely fucking insane. So and then there's other outliers like rape and incest and, you know, actual like medical, you know, like people, women knowing that the baby is not going to be able to make it or her life is in danger. Like, I definitely feel like that. Also, just simply not being ready for the kid. Like, just, that should be that person's choice. That is hurting them if they make that choice. It's not hurting you. It's hurting them. So I'm definitely going towards more pro-choice. Had I had a child at 16, would I have been the same mother to that child that I am to Charlotte? I made some fucking mistakes with Charlotte, so I don't think so. I might not have been the same parent. I could have been, but my life would have definitely took a different path. So, you know, I have learned to forgive myself, and I've given it to God, so don't judge me. You know, judge who, whatever, but it ain't about me. So, cause I've made amends with myself, and, that doesn't mean that like that situation I don't look back on it and I don't, you know, wonder what it could have been like with my child, but it just means that, you know, I've given it to God and it happened, and, it does not weigh down my spirit like it used to. So even when I think about things like that, that was me making that decision. It was a part of me selling my soul to basically say, hey, look, because I definitely could have chose. I could have chose to leave and find somewhere else to stay and chose another path. It might would have been a harder path, right? But I definitely chose. I chose what I wanted to do. And even though my mom always said she took responsibility for that one, like, I still made a choice. She might have been a catalyst, but I made a choice. And I forgive myself. But when I made that choice, I didn't. When I made that choice, I knew it went against everything that I believed in. And I still to this day believe that, you know, you shouldn't kill your babies. However, I will say this. I deeply believe, too, you got to do what's best for you. And you should not allow anybody else to project how they feel onto you when you're making decisions. It is your body, your autonomy. Do what you have to do for you. So I do want us to be aware, like, we do have to deal with those things. I will say this. I think that there should be counseling set up for women who do have miscarriages and abortions. There is not a lot of support for us when we go through these things. And I've had both. And both suck. And there's definitely not a lot of support. And there's not a lot of conversation about how this shit sucks. Unless you find support groups. And so I do say, like, you know, I do think there should be a level of support set up for women, you know, coming out of the hospital, you know, like, look, this is the support around your area for this, because it definitely does take a toll on the spirit. So I don't know where I was going, but I definitely feel like, College. I'm gonna go back to college because I lost my train of thought and I'm sorry. But I definitely took a human spirituality class in college, and I think I talk about this maybe in another video or maybe I don't. I don't know. But I definitely took a human spirituality class. And I love the professor. So if I did mention this, I definitely, you know, have like so much admiration for her. But like the book she picked, it just was like that class, like not only me, but like even my best friend, like she loved her class. Like that class planted a seed that led to a whole double major. So I would definitely say, like, once I started taking religious classes, which human spirituality was the first one, and it was the best one, and I think that's it's funny because it's full circle. I remember one time, like, it was near the end of the semester, and I asked her how does she view God, and how was her belief in God? And she said that God, like, spills over the earth in different spots at different times, and I didn't quite fully understand it at the moment, but when I say I have came back to that same theory she gave me, that is how I view God. I view God as this. I view God as, like, God comes through people. God comes through the animals. God comes through the wind, the trees, the nature. Like, God is all of this. God created this all. Why can't God come through it all? I think Lucifer has the same ability to come through different things as well. And I think that's another thing that I have, right? I have this belief of duality. I can't be afraid of the devil anymore because, technically speaking, I view myself as having devilish parts. And I'm not afraid of them. I'm not ashamed of them anymore. We work together now. We are a team. It reminds me of, like, when Young Boy be like, demon time. Like, me and my demons, we are here. Like, we know each other, we love each other, and don't get us fucking wrong. And then I have this divine good part, and this good part can be so divine and good till it's detrimental sometimes. And me and this divine good part, I have always loved this divine good part. I have always loved on it. I have always valued it. I have always seen the beauty in it. What I needed to do was see the beauty in these parts that are not deemed good in society. And in all actuality, they have a purpose. They are just as beautiful and valuable. Some people will call it shadow work. I like duality. It's just this thing, like, you got light and you got dark. Reminds me of Taoism and the yin and yang symbol. But yeah, like, and then I also view too, like, I have this middle ground where I like to live most of the time. I like to live in this middle ground most of the time because I never got to do that as growing up. I never got to do that much as an adult. But this middle ground is where I find my peace. I find my peace. I get to live in my peace, and I'm happy about my peace. So yeah, so I look at those two as extremes, beautiful extremes that I need. And like I said, this is my darkness allows me to not fear, quote unquote, evil anymore. And because I know what it is. Like, it's nothing to be afraid of. In order for me to get to the light, I have to be in the darkness. And then sometimes, now in life, like, I am the light in the darkness. Follow me sometimes. And then sometimes don't follow me because I'm not doing it right. And and that's what I feel like I want to get back to. Like, I discussed how religion was contradicting to me. I think life is a contradiction. Life is a walking contradiction. Like, when you truly get to know that you know something, you realize you know nothing at all. And because you just don't. Like, you just don't. It's a weird thing. And I feel like people who have been through a lot, they get it, they know it. And it doesn't matter what religion you are. And people that, haven't quite got there yet, like, if you're at peace, you're at peace. Like, that's good. Like, but the people who have been through it, if you know, you know. You like, you know nothing at all. Even if you know a lot, you know nothing at all. So yeah, I'm definitely more on the spiritual side. I do not feel like I have to subscribe to one religion. I definitely love Eastern religions. Eastern religions allowed for me to check in and tap into me. Eastern religions allow for me to see the beauty and the powers that lie in me. If you believe that God is so powerful in all these things, and he said he made us in his image, that means you would think and know that you too possess certain powers. Some of us have natural abilities, and some of us have abilities that, need practice, need work. Some of us, some of us are natural born leaders. Some of us are, and I feel like a natural born leader knows that you have to follow in order to lead. You can never just be the leader all the time. And that's definitely something that I am realizing, like, I am a leader. And I always was afraid to be a leader. That's such a huge responsibility, right? But then now I realize, like, being a leader just means being yourself. And having the courage and the strength to do said, things. Now, there are other leaders who are well more, like I would say they are checking these boxes and they look great as a leader. However, me, I am gonna cuss. However, me, I have been a sexual free being. However, me, I have done some really crazy things. I've done some things, and it'll come out eventually, more and more throughout these stories. But I am not perfect, and I want y'all to know that I'm not perfect, because there's a lot of leaders walking around that is scared to lead and scared to be who you are just because you think you have to be perfect and you don't. You are here to make a difference and change the world. Be yourself. Do not allow the leaders who, they do look great on paper. Like, don't let those leaders make you feel intimidated. They are who they are. And it's, we all have to be who we are. Like, they're meant to be who they are. We're meant to be who we are. We all have an audience. And you just got to find your audience. But for me, I definitely love the Eastern religions because it definitely allowed me to know me on a more intimate level. I would say Hinduism was one of the first ones that I just fell in love with. And even though it is a polytheistic, I don't even know if that was a word. If it was, good job. But if it wasn't, it's a polytheism religion, and which just poly means many, and God. So many gods. So they believe in many gods. This is what I want to say for religions that believe in many gods. This is my take on it. I do not denounce them. I feel like we're all praying to the same source. Whether you are a person who is atheist and you are the controller and leader of your life, I still feel like you're praying to the same source. Like, even if you pump yourself up that day, you're still praying to the same source. If you believe in the wind gods, the ocean god, the water god, like, you're still praying to the same source because God created this all. So I don't even condemn them. I don't even look down on them. I don't think that they're unintelligent. I actually think it's amazing and beautiful that they will tap into different things. And I will say with Hinduism, what sold me that I should shut up and not judge is that they have had plenty of children that came out looking like their gods, like with the many long arms and all that stuff. And you cannot tell me that there is no correlation or whatever to this. So and that's my take on it. I'm not trying to be scientific, so I don't give a fuck about genetics and all that stuff. And I do care about genetics and all that stuff, but I'm talking religion, which is spiritual, is not science-based. What I am saying is that when I saw that, I was like, you can't tell me that, like, y'all ain't wrong either. So I just feel like, for me, God is collective. I I love the different gods that they have. I actually used to read to Charlotte. It was like a book I bought for one of my religious studies classes, and it was like a cartoon based book that was like fun for kids or adults, and it just had the different gods. I always like immediately identify with the Kali spirit. I think that's how you say her name. But she's like the girl with the skulls, and like she's the warrior spirit. Like she come to kick butt. So yeah, I always identify with her. So I just have like, and then is it Ganesha? I forgot how to pronounce it. Like that's a lot of things. Like when you do not keep practicing things, you forget it. So, but that's the elephant one. I love elephants, right? So, I love elephants and sea turtles. I love all animals, but those two stick out a lot. But I like that god. But there's just so many different ones in there, and it's like for me, it's like these spirits that they call on, and I think we all have that. Also in their culture, cows are sacred. But yeah, there's a lot of different practices in that culture that I thought was cool. That I definitely, further research, and like I said, I do not condemn that religious practice at all, whatsoever. There are so many different ones. I mean, I have studied Rastafarianism, Confucius. I think Confucius, whatever you call his one. And like I said, I'm not being technical right now. I have a lot of brain fog. I have a lot of things that I have forgotten. But if I pick it back up, like it's a instant connection. So but I learned a lot about a lot of different ones. It was even a religion. Was it Jainism or something like that? Or Jainism? Something where like it was so extreme, like you wasn't even supposed to kill bugs. So you were a murderer if you killed a bug. But like it was just so many different things. I think Buddhism, that was the meditation. Yeah, Taoism and Buddhism definitely has a lot of meditation involved, your chakras. I think yoga practices was that Hinduism? I think that was Hinduism, the yoga practices. That's another thing you will learn. You will learn that Western people will go over and learn other cultures and bring it back to America, and definitely not teach Americans what they're doing. So like if you're sitting down doing yoga, you're practicing another religion. You need to pay homage to the religion you're practicing. If you believe in chakras and all that stuff, like you're practicing another religion. If you're calling it chakras, like, I mean, different indigenous group have the same practices sometimes, and it's different names to them though. And so like when you are doing certain things in America, you're practicing things and you don't even realize you ain't even did the history on them. Like you don't even think about it. Like, but what mudra is like, you're not even thinking about like you're practicing somebody else's religion and you're not even paying homage to them. Like we just taking shit and claiming it as ours, and we need to put the names to them and put the respect to them. I don't think it's wrong for us to find other religions and practices